Good morning. My name is Cori Bush. I'm a nurse, pastor, single mom, community activist, and the Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress in Missouri's 1st District. I am so glad to speak with you all this morning to kick off what I know will be a full and rewarding day. Today is all about reckoning with what restorative justice looks like. And as I've been reflecting, I'm reminded of why I'm here today, of what activated me to run for Congress, the murder of Mike Brown Jr. To talk about what happened to Mike Brown on August 9th, 2014 in Ferguson, Missouri, we have to go back in time. We could go back to 1763, when St. Louis was settled by colonizers who violently displaced Indigenous Americans. We could go back to 1836, when Francis McIntosh, a free Black man, stepped off a boat onto the shores of the Mississippi and within an hour was chained to a tree and burned to death on what is now the corner of 7th and Chestnut Streets. We could go back to the iconic St. Louis courthouse in 1857, where Dred Scott was denied his freedom with the declaration that Black people were not citizens under the Constitution. We could go back to the 1960s, when Ferguson was nearly 100% white and a sundown town. Ferguson bordered Kinloch, one of the first Black cities in Missouri. Then to the 1970s, when a Black man tried to build a house in Ferguson, to when the city council responded with a plan to build a 10-foot wall on the border with Kinloch. And when it became clear that residents of Kinloch would not be kept out for good, we could go back to the white flight that came next, turning Ferguson from a 99% white population to a 70% Black population, all while maintaining a majority white police force, 50 white officers, and 3 Black officers when Mike Brown was murdered. These violent structures continue today, but the point remains the same. Ferguson, Missouri was not built for Mike Brown Jr. It wasn't built for me. So when Officer Darren Wilson murdered Mike Brown and left his body in the street for 4.5 hours, when the grand jury was not presented all of the evidence, and when no charges were brought, we were not surprised. But we were activated and had been activated on a quest for real justice. At the time of Mike Brown's murder, I was working as a nurse manager for a community clinic. Shortly thereafter, I was dispatched to the street where Mike Brown was killed. We were there 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday every day to provide grief and trauma services for those who witnessed his murder and its aftermath. In the evenings, I'd return to march or care for others, sometimes as a medic, sometimes as clergy. For more than 400 days, we took to the streets to fight for justice and to heal together. In the years since, it's become clear to me that while a conviction for Darren Wilson would have been a victory, it would not have meant justice. His family still grieves. The trauma that we face on a day-to-day basis is real, and it comes in so many forms: in our economic system, our prison system, our housing system, our education system, our healthcare system. They're all built to fail us. We need to build a new system, one that addresses the fact that real justice will never be served in just a courtroom, because real justice is systemic, multidimensional. We need to address the complex dynamics of the trauma that is living as a Black person in America. We must dismantle the systems that threaten our lives on a day-to-day basis. Yes, we must defund the police, end qualified immunity, and abolish private prisons and cash bail. But that is not enough. We need to be heard and seen. We need acknowledgement from the federal government of the pain that has continued to be inflicted upon us for centuries, and it needs to be made right, and made right now. We should look to other nations who have also reckoned with the painful histories of slavery, colonization, and racial violence. In Germany, South Africa, New Zealand, and Rwanda, we've seen different models that explore what justice, reparations, and racial reconciliation actually look like. We do not need to reinvent the wheel, but we do need to be intentional and decide collectively that we, as a nation, are ready and willing to acknowledge the real realities of our history and do what is necessary to repair centuries of harm. That starts with each and every one of you that's here today. This path will not be easy or simple or fast. It will take strength and love and patience to fight for the future we want and finally, truly begin to heal and move forward together. It will be worth it. Thank you.